So here we've worked across the top of this next motif. We've got both of our half double crochet increases here, and we're starting to work back down the side. So I've got the single crochet in the trebles. I'm going to single crochet in each of the next 5 chain stitches, single crochet in the next single crochet. I'm going to end up doing that one more time. So single crochet in the next 5 chain stitches, 1, oops, single crochet in the next single crochet, and then 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches again. And this reaches the end of the repeat portion that we were working, remember, with the asterisks that were marked off. So now we've reached the end of that, which means we've worked round 10 repeated for the second motif. Adjust my camera a little bit. And so the instructions say to end the round, insert the hook through the next single crochet and through the corresponding stitch of the opposite motif. So again, this is the 3rd single crochet left of the leftmost treble shell, or right of the rightmost if you are a lefty and you're working it opposite. So insert the hook through the next single crochet and through the corresponding stitch at the back. So 1, 2, 3, left of the leftmost, and insert the hook. Whoops, get my yarn out of the way. Work a slip stitch through both of those stitches at once to close the round. Do not cut yarn and tie off, because we go directly from here into the back and forth seam down the side for the next part of the joining. So the next part of the joining is round 11. I'm going to pull out my drawer a little bit. Round 11. So keeping both motifs aligned, we have our little mandala top starting to form here. The motif on top, so facing us, will be referred to as number 1. This is number 1. The motif in the back, so further away from us, will be number 2. And it says, you will be working a fagoting stitch join. That's kind of an old-fashioned word for it. I'm sorry, I didn't make it up. A fagoting stitch join between the 2 motifs, which just means we're going to be chaining and stitching back and forth between these 2 layers. So I'm going to highlight my portion here so I don't lose track as I'm working. You'll see me stop and reach over and highlight so that I don't lose place, because it's kind of a big paragraph here. So working away from the nearest treble shell. So this is the nearest treble shell over here. We're working away from it, so in the other direction. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. So working away from the nearest treble shell, chain 3 and single crochet in the next chain 5 space of number 2. Now remember, the back motif is number 2, the front motif is number 1. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, And the next chain 5 space of 2 is right here. So here's our 2 chain 5 spaces. Here's the one for number 1. Here's the one for number 2. Single crochet in number 2. Chain 3, single crochet in the corresponding chain 5 space of number 1. That's right here. 1, 2, 3. Single crochet in this one. Next, the instructions say chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 8 space of number 2. So now we're moving on into the portion that worked these alternating repeats that increased, and this one is a chain 8 space, but you know, the next chain space. So chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our next 2 spaces here on both, we're going to land it in number 2, which is the back one. So single crochet in the next chain 8 space of number 2. Chain 5, 3, 4, 5. Single crochet in the corresponding space on 1. So that's the same matched up space. We're going to single crochet in that. Chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 4 space of number 2. So here's our next 2 next chain spaces. They are chain 4. As you can see, they're smaller. We're going to go in number 2, so that's the back one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Single crochet in that space. Chain 5, single crochet in the corresponding space of 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here's our corresponding chain 4 space. So we're going to single crochet in that. And I'm going to stop for just a second so you can see. Here's our 2 motifs. Here's our working yarn. Put it against my hand. And so we have this zigzag chain forming that's linking up these 2 motifs down the side. Chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 7 space on number 2. Here's our 2 chain 4s. Here's our next chain 7s. So chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next space on 2, so that's the back. And chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And single crochet in the corresponding space on number 1. So this front one. Alright, and that's the join on this side is completed. So hopefully that is a lot clearer seeing it on video, because to read it can be a little overwhelming. The next part of the round is to chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And working, it says continuing only on number 1, so that's this front piece. We're going to repeat 2 double crochet, chain 8 around the bottom of this single motif. And for the large that we're going to do it 49 times, it's a different number for the other sizes. So I'm going to start continuing only on in this motif, working the 2 double crochet, chain 8 in the next 49 chain spaces. So that's 1 repeat done. 2 double crochet in the next chain space, chain 8. 2 double crochet in the next space, chain 8, and we're going to do that as many times as the pattern specifies. So 2 double crochet, chain 8 in every chain space for as many repeats as the pattern specifies. So now I've completed the 49 repeats for the size large of the double crochet, chain 8. That's all the way around the bottom. And we're back at the side of the piece with our treble shells lined over here. This is our last chain 8. And we're going to do the beginning of the next join. So on these instructions it says single crochet in the next chain 7 space on number 1. So that's number 1. Single crochet in that next space, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to need to line up these spaces between the two pieces a little better. So there's 1, and this matches up with this, and then this matches up here. So here's our number 2. So single crochet in the corresponding space of number 2. That's this one. We just found it. Single crochet in that. And then we're going to chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Single crochet in the next chain space on 1. So the next chain space on 1 is right here. Single crochet in that. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Single crochet in the corresponding space on 2. So here's that 4 length chain space on number 2 that matches up. Single crochet there. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Single crochet in the next chain space on 1. So here's our 2 chain spaces. So single crochet in the next chain space on 1. Single crochet there. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Single crochet in the corresponding space on 2, so that's back here. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Single crochet in the next chain space on 1, so that's right here. All right, single crochet there. Now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet in the corresponding space on 2. So that's the last, here, get my yarn out of the way. That's the last free space on the back. Single crochet there. And then chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And then join with a slip stitch to the joining stitch of round 10. So that's that one single crochet that covers both sides. So kind of flatten that out with my finger. And I'm going to just join with a slip stitch to that stitch. Now we've got a mirroring join on this side, which connects the two pieces just like we did on the opposite side, plus this extra row of chain and double crochet on one of the motifs. And at this point we're done with this round 11, and the instructions say to cut yarn and tie off. Round 11 does add this extra 2 double crochet, chain 8 repeat, that makes an extra row on this motif. So one side of the top is going to be slightly longer, and that longer side is now the back of the piece. So round 12 is worked in a single round around the bottom. It's worked around the bottom, around the two motifs on the bottom. So we have this extra round on this that makes this the back, because the back being slightly longer covers the back side a little bit more. I think it's just balances it just a little bit more. So that's the joining round. I hope that clears it up. If you had any questions, I did over the years I've gotten, this is like the toughest round on this, otherwise fairly easy garment. So I did want to finally cover that more visually so that I can help people out better when they ask questions. So I hope you liked it. You know, I figured since I'm already doing it, I'll just go ahead and start round 12 as well. So with the right sides of the piece facing, here's our motif, it's the right side. We're going to join new yarn. This is the bottom. We've got the treble shells down here, so we're just working around these bottoms. So here's the treble shells, this is the top, this is the portion where it's already single crocheted and joined. Here's our fagoting join. So the instructions say join new yarn in the third chain 8 space from the last chain 5 in the join. So this is the last chain 5, and we're going to join the yarn 3 chain 8 spaces from this chain space. So this is actually in the direction that we are going to be working over this way. So 1, 2, 3, the third chain space, join our yarn, chain 3 to count as the first double crochet. So I already chained 1 for my join, there's another 2. We're going to double crochet in the same space. Chain 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 double crochet in the next chain 8 space. Here we go. Chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over and draw up a loop through the next chain 8 space. So yarn over, draw up a loop in the next chain 8 space, yarn over and draw through 2 loops on the hook. So yarn over, 2 loops, that leaves an extra loop on the hook there. Yarn over and draw up a loop through the next chain 8 space. This is a chain 5 space. We're going to skip this. So skipping, it says in the instructions, skipping the chain 5 and the chain space it is attached to. So the chain 5, the chain 8, skipping those entirely. So when we yarn over and draw up a loop through the next chain space, it's actually this chain 4 over here. I think it says chain 8 in the pattern. I think I'm going to have to fix that, because that's not accurate. Whoops. Okay, so we're skipping all that. And we're going to draw up a loop, yarn over, draw up a loop, draw through 2 loops on the hook. That gives us with partial double crochet in each of these chain spaces. Yarn over and draw through the last 3 loops on the hook. So that makes a double crochet 2 together over 2 chain spaces. So that's connecting these two motifs even more, but we're skipping these join spaces here. And again, the written pattern, say chain 8 space? It does. This is actually a chain 4 space. Whoops! But I'll get it fixed before I repost this pattern. So, moving on, chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to 2 double crochet in the next chain space, chain 8, and we're just going to continue working those 2 double crochet, chain 8 repeats across the next bottom edge of the motif. When we get around to the place where the join is on the next side, you just repeat this little double crochet 2 together trick in the chain 8 or the chain spaces indicated, and that's how you navigate that little skip on round 12, which works around the bottom of both motifs.